Hello folks, today we're going to take a look at a Zeiss Axiovert 200 inverted microscope. We have this particular microscope configured for phase contrast and Varel contrast. We're not going to do any DIC, nor are we going to do any fluorescence microscopy on this particular microscope. One thing I do want to show is the differences between phase contrast and Varel contrast, and also just taking a look at bright field, what the differences are on an unstained specimen. By the way, we're going through a 1 millimeter thick glass. So this is going to be equivalent to a glass Petri dish. We are not going through a cover slip thickness, 0.17 millimeter thick. That makes a huge difference. If you're going to just do slides and go through the cover slip thickness, things would be different. These objectives are all configured at the moment for a 1 millimeter thick. Okay, let's get right to it. So we have an image of phase contrast, and it's on the 10 power objective. One thing I want to do, I want to turn right over to bright field. So this is bright field. There's no contrasting. As you can see, it's very hard to see. When we turn over to phase, you bring out the contrasting. Now, let's do another thing. Let's go over to a Varel contrast. Now, the first thing many of you already noticed, this already has like a three-dimensional relief pattern to it. It's, as I told you earlier, we're not doing DIC, but Varel contrast gives you a pseudo 3D relief. So in a way, it's a very inexpensive way to get some kind of a almost DIC. Maybe good enough for what you're trying to do. But I can assure you, to get a really good DIC, you put on the right DIC equipment, you have a really good DIC image, it's still going to be better than Varel contrast. Let's take a look at how this looks as I adjust. By the way, this is the Varel adjustment. And this particular one is a VAR 1 and a VAR 2. And it depends on the objective you're using. So right now, I've got it on the 10 power. Yes, I'm just confirming that. 10 power uses the VAR 1. Notice we're going into a pseudo dark field. So going all the way into that pseudo dark field, and I'm going to turn it back to where we were. And we go into more of that 3D relief pattern. Okay, so that's just a good look at the 10 power. And once again, before we go too far, let's turn it back to the bright field. Everything's washed out, can't see anything well. Back to the phase only, not a VAR. Okay, that's the 10 power objective. Now let's turn it to the 20 power. This 20 power objective, this is on phase. So let's get in focus. Try to get something in the image here. Okay, that's phase only. This is a 20 power. And once again, this particular objective is it's an LD A plan. And it's only designed for a 1 millimeter thick glass or plastic. It's not truly designed for the 0.17 millimeter. Okay, now we're on the Varel. Let's do some adjustments here and see. So we can go into kind of a pseudo dark field. Okay, I'm going to take it off of that pseudo dark field, and I'm going to go back into more of a relief type pattern. There again, Varel contrast, LDA plan objective. It's a long distance objective configured for use going through the bottom of a Petri dish. Okay, that is our 20 power. And I want to switch over real quick to a bright field. Look how washed out it is. I haven't changed my focusing. I've just switched it. So there you can see tremendous difference in contrasting when you switch from bright field over to the Varel contrast. And just to keep going through the same thing over and over, the phase. Okay, so that's the LD A plan. Now let's go, that's a 20 power, let's go to a 40 power. Now on this one, this is a PH2. So it's only phase right now. Okay, I want to now switch it to the VAR, VAR, and this will take a VAR 2. So there again, I do get some relief pattern out of this, depending on the setting of the VAR. And you can see it can also go into the pseudo-dark field. So depending on what you're really trying to image, the VAR can be helpful to you. That is the LD A plan 40X, and it's rated for the 1 millimeter thick Petri. Okay, I have another objective on here. Let's take a look at this. This is the LD Acroplan, and this has a correction collar on it. Now that's not a VAR. It's only a phase objective. I believe this is going to give me a little better imaging. Okay, so that's the phase contrast. Let's go over to the bright field. On the bright field, 40X LD Acroplan, I'm pretty washed out, not seeing any contrast, not really seeing what's going on. Phase 2 setting on the condenser, matching the phase 2 ring in the back aperture of the objective, gives me a phase image. Okay, at this point we've gone through 10, 20, 40, two different 40 objectives. Looking at Varel contrast and looking at phase contrast, and just quickly switching over to bright field to see how everything is washed out without any contrasting at all. So that's basically the summary of this microscope. Let's just go over the features of it. Condenser, upper arm, this is the halogen lamp. So this is a transmitted light transmitting down into the objectives. We've got all the settings. Well, we've got the settings at the moment to go to the camera. Okay, that comprises our video. Thank you very much for watching.